Yes boys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be breaking down UFC 303, Jiri Prochazka taking on Alex Pereira in this very interesting card from a betting perspective. I see a lot of underdogs that are catching my eye, so really looking forward to this, guys. But before we do that, let's recap our last betting card, and also let me just clarify where why I'm so inconsistent lately. Obviously, I said a few months ago I had a lot of exams. I had to revise like crazy. That was an actual excuse. But the last few weeks, man, I just cannot get hyped for these cards. Sorry, these cards are just they stink, bro. And I'm not trying to just pump out content for you guys. Not giving you guys the proper research, not putting in the tape study like I have been really the past few weeks. And I'm not trying to give you guys bets that I'm really not fully set on, if that makes sense, and predictions that I'm really not putting all my time and effort into. So that's kind of why I'm very inconsistent lately. But for this card, man, I've done a lot of tape study. These videos take so long to edit because I like to give you guys film footage, which I think is very unique for my channel. So if you like it, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment if you agree or disagree with some of my predictions in this video, guys. These videos, like I said, take a long time to make, so if you can show some support just by even liking the video, it helps out the channel massively, boys. But yeah, let's recap our last betting card. UFC Saudi Arabia. It went pretty well. We were up 7.37 units. It says 5.1, but realistically we were up 7.37 units. The last card wasn't really that good. The card before that, sorry, we were on a 4-event winning streak. We lost here 8.26 units. A really bad betting card. But yeah, we were up 7.37 units here. It doesn't say. There's apparently like a glitch with Bet MMA tips right now. I had Gastelum and Renat for Kratinov parlay at -110 for 2.5 units. So I think that's 2.27 units. That would be added onto that. So I won 7.37 units. It was added onto the total, man. And this year has kind of just been an up and down year for me, man. So we started off like 50 units on the year. That's, we won 50 units our first year, which was a, very successful year for my first year handicapping MMA. Very happy with how our first year went. And we were up 28 units in the first 3 months. I mean, I was on top of the world, man. I was like, I'm him this year, bro. And then we were on, just look at this down slope, bro, we've been on. And then we went on our 4-event winning streak. We went up, we went down, we went up, we went down. It's just been a very... No, it's just been a mid-year, to be honest, man. We're up like 5 units this year. It's not been a great year, but yeah, I was hoping to get 50 units by the end of the year, but that's not looking likely. But if we can get to like 30 units for this year, I'll be very happy. Apparently, like, most people struggled last year compared to me, but this year people are being way more successful than they were last year, and I'm obviously the guy that's having to be different by having a worse year than I had last year, which is apparently harder for betting MMA. So it is what it is, guys. And also, I'm just gonna say it, when it comes to heavyweight betting, don't listen to anyone else. I am him. I have like a 54% ROI out of like 30 something fights betting heavyweight. So I'm very good at betting heavyweight. Some of the notable wins that have: John Jones versus Gan versus Spivak, Pavlovich versus Blades versus Almeida, Volkov versus Pavlovich. There's just some of the notable wins that I have at heavyweight, and I don't know why I'm so good at betting heavyweight. It should be it should be harder to bet heavyweight, but it's literally like I feel so confident betting heavyweight fights, and I've won 2 max bets at that weight class. Out of my 9 max bets, we're 9-1 on max bets. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment your predictions and bets if you have any early leans for this week. But yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one for my best bets video this Friday. I do feel pretty confident this week, man. Like I said, I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and I put a lot of time and effort into the research for this week. So if you guys are new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, boys. Peace. And our first fight is going to be Ricky Simone taking on Vinicius Oliveira. This is a fun fight to open up the card, man. Ricky Simone, man, he's on a 2-fight loss streak, losing to guys in Mario Batista. I bet Mario Batista, and I bet Song Yidong against him. So there's no harm in losing to those guys. But this guy was overrated, man. I always said that Ricky Simone was overrated, but he does have some good wrestling. He does have some good boxing. He doesn't move his head at all. He doesn't have the best, I don't know if he has the best durability either, man. He can be rocked, he can be knocked down, and he can be finished, which is a bit of a worrying sign coming up against a guy in Vinicius Oliveira, who's very explosive early on, has a lot of wild attacks, like jumping knees, as we've seen in this last fight, a lot of, jumping kicks and such. I forget what they're called. It's like a jumping switch kick type thing. You know what I'm talking about, but yeah. A lot of wild strikes, a wide variety of wild strikes, and he doesn't have the best cardio. He does slow down as the fight goes on. He's very explosive early on, but in his last fight, man, he looked like he was gassed. He was getting absolutely destroyed in that second round, and then Supaj, on short notice, started to slow down. I actually had a bet on Supaj at plus 120. I was getting so hyped watching that fight because it looked like Supaj was about to finish him, but, Vinicius Oliveira was able to show very, good heart in that matchup, was able to, push through some adversity in that fight, and he was able to, get that second win and find that finish in that third round against a very good prospect, in my opinion, in Bernardo Supaj. So, this is a very interesting fight, but I'm going to go with Ricky Simón, man. I think that he can get the takedowns. Vinicius Oliveira is happy to play off his back at times, and I think that if he is able to mix in his hands with his wrestling, I think he can be very successful in this matchup. I think that if he can just implement an overall MMA game, I think he can win this fight 29-28, 30-27 on the judges' scorecards. I just think he's the overall better fighter. I do think that Vinicius Oliveira is going to be very dangerous early on, so a live bet also mightn't be a bad play on Ricky Simón in this matchup. But yeah, give me Ricky Simón by decision in this fight. And our next one has to be Carlos Hernandez taking on Ray Tsuruya. I don't know how to say that name, bro. I'm not good with Japanese names or Asian names, my bad, guys. But yeah, this is a very interesting fight, man. I think the odds here, I don't know. Hey, I don't know, bro. These odds look kind of wild to me, man, after watching some on tape. I actually watched Ray Tsuruya live against, who was it, Mike Kalamaku. I actually watched that fight live because I'm a degenerate and was live betting road to UFC fights. But yeah, Carlos Hernandez, man, a solid boxer, has some good scrambles at times, good jiu-jitsu as well. And I think if he can keep this fight on the feet, man, I think he can win this fight. I'm just saying, as a plus 350 underdog, I'm looking to play this guy at plus 350, man. I don't know if I'm gonna, it's hard to just pick him, to be honest. His durability is a question mark. I do think that he can slow down as the fight goes on. I do think that, Ray Tsuruya's, relentlessness to get those takedowns. This guy shoots so many takedowns, against Mike Kalamaku. He shot a lot of takedowns, but as the fight went on, man, Mike Kalamaku was piecing Ray up in that fight, man. I think that, if Carlos Hernandez can extend this fight into the second and third round, I think that, he can potentially win this fight, man, on the judges' scorecards or find a late finish. I'll probably just go with the judges' scorecards, but yeah, this guy's only been out of the first. How many first round finishes does this guy have? He has. He has 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 6 first round finishes, 2 subs in the second round, and 1 decision. So, from what I've seen, man, this guy's a bit of a first round fighter. I'm not saying he's a first rounder bust particularly, but his first round is going to be his strongest round by far. He's going to come out there, try and get you to the ground, try and get in dominant positions on the ground, and potentially submit you or ground and pound you. But I think at this level, man, I think that Carlos Hernandez, in the UFC, man, I think he could have a lot of success on the feet in this matchup. I think he has the cleaner boxing. I think he has the scrambling ability. We've seen that against Tyra at times. He did have some okay scrambles. He did get clipped on the feet and knocked out, but I think that Carlos Hernandez can have some success coming into this fight, man. So I'm going to actually pick Carlos Hernandez as the plus 350 underdog in this fight. I'm not really that high on Tsuruya, to be honest. So I'm going to go with Carlos Hernandez to keep on the feet, outbox him, outkickbox him as the fight goes on. Tsuruya does slow down, so does Hernandez, but I think that Tsuruya, from what I've seen on tape, kind of doesn't really pace himself that well, and kind of, shoots bad takedowns, is pretty sloppy as the fight goes on against, Mike Kalamaku, the main fight that I'm kind of looking at here. So, gonna go with Carlos Hernandez in this matchup. Andrei Arlovski taking on Martin Buday, bro. This is kind of one of the fights I just I'm good, bro. This is kind of a fight I avoided with tape, I'll be honest. Andrei Arlovski, man, we know what we're going to get with this guy. This guy's had about 70 fights in the UFC. He's been fighting since, I was like 2 years old, dude. So this guy's been fighting forever. So, Andrei Arlovski, this guy's chin isn't the best. He has some okay boxing. He's pretty fast for heavyweight. Not that much power. Had pretty good cardio in his day. But at 40, what is he, 45, 46? Yeah, 45. This fighting in the UFC, 45 years old. I just can't pick him to win a fight, man. I can't pick him to win a fight. I think that Marc-Andre Buday is going to be the more physically imposing fighter. I think he'll be the more stronger fighter. He's going to be the way younger fighter in this matchup. And I think that against the fence, against the clinch, where Andrei Arlovski can be held, I think that Marc-Andre Buday can get him to the ground and potentially submit Andrei Arlovski in this matchup. A few years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I'd probably be all over Andrei Arlovski in this matchup, but I just can't pick him to win a fight, man. I can't pick a 45-year-old guy, even a heavyweight, man, to win a fight, man. I do think that this goes to the second round, and maybe Marc-Andre Buday submits a very tired Andrei Arlovski, who's kind of been held against the fence throughout the entire fight. But I don't know, man. This fight's just weird in my opinion. I'm going to go with Marc-Andre Buday by submission in this matchup. Cannot pick Andrei Arlovski to win a fight, but a few years ago, I probably would have picked him to win this fight. I think he has the better boxing. I think he has the better footwork. I think he's better by far in the feet. I think both of these guys suck, man, at this stage. But yeah, Marc-Andre Buday coming off that loss to Gaziev. Kind of an embarrassing loss to get absolutely destroyed by Shamil Gaziev. That's enough said on that fight. Let's just move on to the next one. And our next one is going to be Michelle Waterson taking on Gillian Robertson. This is a very interesting fight from a betting perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Gillian Robertson, obviously we know what she's going to do. She's going to come out here, try and get the fight to the ground with absolutely zero wrestling and absolutely zero striking. But when she gets it to the ground, she's one of the best fighters on the ground in that weight class from a jiu-jitsu standpoint. Very good BJJ, very good top pressure, and probably some of the most vicious ground and pound in women's MMA. I'm not even joking when I say that. When she gets on top, she's nasty with her elbows. I just absolutely clobbered my mic with that elbow. Just KO'd my mic right there. But yeah, I hope that didn't hurt your ears right there. But yeah, when she gets on top, she's nasty. She's looking to dominate. She's looking to transition to dominant positions, look for submissions. But the problem is, man, her takedowns are absolutely awful. Her entries are absolutely awful. Her striking is absolutely awful. And I think that Michelle Waterson, this is a winnable fight. This is a winnable fight for a 38-year-old washed up Michelle Waterson, man. And the reason being, the footwork of Michelle Waterson is going to be a problem for Gillian Robertson coming into this fight, man. I think that Michelle Waterson can skirt around the outside here. I think it's going to be very difficult for Gillian Robertson to cover that distance to, get a hold of her, get her to the fence, potentially look for a takedown. And I think on the outside, man, with the side kicks to maintain that, striking distance, to maintain, that kickboxing range, I think that Michelle Waterson can definitely win this fight, man. And I'm going to pick her. I'm going to bet her. I'm going to go with Michelle Waterson coming into this fight, man. I think that she's clear on the feet by far. I think that this does go to a decision. I think her takedown defense and her sweeps, getting in the butterfly guard, getting back up to her feet, I think that is I think that she can get back up to her feet if she is taken down. And on the feet, man, I think that she's going to be winning the minutes. I think that she'll be winning the movements. And I think that her overall, karate style will be very effective against a girl that plods forward, doesn't cover distance well, doesn't make her entries well into her takedowns. So I'm going to go with Michelle Waterson in this matchup. And our next fight is going to be Payton Talbott taking on Yanis Ghemmouri. Payton Talbott, man, this guy's a very bright prospect in that bantamweight division, man. Absolutely destroyed Cameron Simon, and I had a bet on Cameron Simon, so roast me, do whatever you want, man. That was a terrible bet, I'll be straight up, but this guy's counter-striking is nasty. This guy's forward pressure is nasty. This guy's volume is nasty. And he has good powers also. He's not just a volume guy. He can, put it on you with some good shots. So this guy's striking is very good, man. I think that he picks his shots well. I think that, his head movement isn't the best. He is very hittable. He can be, clobbered when coming forward. He can be a bit sloppy at entering distance at times. He can, throw kicks within, boxing range at times. But This kid's confidence, man, is very high, man. Yeah, and his swagger, you can just tell his swagger inside the cage. I'm not trying to glaze here. It sounds like I'm glazing Payton Talbott right here. You know, that kind of sounds a bit weird, but no, his striking's very good, man. I think in this matchup against another striker in Yanis Ghemmouri, it's going to be enough. You know, Yanis, more of a outside, you know, kicking range type striker, low output, but I think that Payton Talbott, man, is going to be able to walk forward, is going to be able to march him down, is going to be able to put it on Yanis Ghemmouri, and I think that this does go to decision, man. I think that Yanis Ghemmouri is more defensively sound than a guy like Cameron Simon, who doesn't have the best head movement. He doesn't, you know, take shots well. And I just think that Yanis Ghemmouri has the style to go the distance. Let me actually check that real quick. What is fight goes the distance in this fight? Because I'd be very interested. Over 1.5 is minus 135. Wow, that's interesting to me, man. That's interesting to me. I might play that. I might play an over 1.5 in this fight if I had to play anything, because obviously, you know, you cannot play Payton Talbott at minus 2,000, bro. There's just no way. So yeah, Payton Talbott's gonna be the pick. Obviously, he's gonna be the pick. He's minus 2,000. You know, the UFC setting this guy up for success. Obviously, man, this guy could be a potential star like O'Malley. So, gonna go with Payton Talbott. He's the slicker striker. I don't know if maybe he's the slicker striker. I don't know about that, but he's gonna have the volume. In my opinion, he's gonna have the power. In my opinion, the pressure, the relentlessness on the feet, and I think he's gonna be the better of all strikers. So, gonna go with Payton Talbott in my by decision in this fight. And our next fight is going to be Charles Jourdain taking on Jean Silva. This is a very interesting fight, man. I have a big take on this fight. Charles Jourdain, man, this guy has been improving over his last few fights. You know, he did lose to Sean Woodson, but Sean Woodson's a decent fighter, man. You know, he has been fighting a lot smarter. You know, fought very smart against Kron Gracie, a bit of a snoozer. But he did what he had to do, and then submitted a guy in Ricardo Ramos. He has, you know, very good jiu-jitsu, but he can't be submitted. Obviously, we saw that in his last fight against Rusa as well. But yeah, you know, Charles Jourdain, man, I think that in this fight, man, I think he can win this fight pretty easily. I'm going to be honest, I'm not high in Jean Silva whatsoever. I had an absolutely huge bet on Gomez, and obviously Gomez missed weight and he was like collapsing on the scale, but I think that Charles Jourdain, man, he's going to have the better striking. I think that he has the durability to stand in front of Jean Silva. I think that his kicking ability in this matchup, the deep kicks up the middle, the range control is going to be a big factor. I think that Jean Silva's pretty bad. I'm not high on this guy whatsoever. He does have some big power. He is very dangerous early on, but he does slow down as the fight goes on. Charles Jourdain, a guy that kind of gets stronger and stronger as the fight goes on, picks up more confidence as the fight goes on, and I think that the kicks are going to be the biggest factor when it comes to this matchup. I think that Charles Jourdain, his boxing isn't the best, but I do think it can snipe a guy who's very obvious, he is very telegraphed in his strikes in Jean Silva. I'm just not I don't know why we have minus 125 right here on Charles Jourdain. I haven't lined this like minus 250. I'm not even trolling. Minus 225 on Charles Jourdain. I'm not high on this guy Jean Silva. You know, I watched his Dana White Contender Series fight. I watched it live as well. Not impressed whatsoever. I'm beating Weston Wilson. I mean, if you're losing to Weston Wilson in the UFC, you know, like his last opponent, how are you losing to Weston Wilson in the UFC, dude? That guy, he's like one of the worst fighters in the organization. But yeah, man, gonna go with Charles Jourdain, man. I think that his striking on the outside, his sniper like shots he can use in this fight are going to be a big factor coming into this fight against, you know, a guy that's very telegraphed, big hook, swings from behind himself, and I'm just not high on what I've seen from Jean Silva. So give me Charles Jourdain by second round TKO in this matchup. And our next fight is going to be Cub Swanson taking on Andrei Fili. This is a very interesting fight, man. Cub Swanson, 40 years old, but he has actually looked okay in his last few fights. He doesn't fight like an absolute washed up 40-year-old fighter. Pretty good still at his old age. You know, a legend in the sport, obviously. We know what we're going to get with Cub Swanson. Good boxing, good body work, and, you know, very just fun fights in general. And then on the other hand, we have Andrei Fili. This guy kind of fights very long for the division, and that's no surprise. You know, 5'11", 74 inches of reach, so He likes to keep you on the end of his punches, but I don't think he's that good at managing range, man. I think that he can be hit, you can enter in range, and you can rip this guy to the body and to the head, and I think that could be a big factor coming to this matchup. Cub Swanson, I'm not going to pick him to win this fight. I can't pick I mean, he's almost 41 years of age, Cub Swanson. I think that Andrei Fili can, kind of keep on the outside, use his kicks, use his range, use that length advantage in this fight, and I think that he can win this fight by decision just by implementing, a more sit on the outside, snipe Cub Swanson as he comes forward, use some low kicks that Cub Swanson has, struggled with in the past, and use, overall kicks that also just Cub Swanson has struggled with in his whole career. This guy is not that good at, dealing with kicks, and I think that Andrei Fili can use that to his advantage in this fight and, control that range, control that distance. So, gonna go with Andrei Fili in this matchup. And our next fight is Drew Pyfer to get on Marc-Andre Barriault. Drew Pyfer, man, in his last fight, I bet Jack Hermanson at, what was it, plus 225, I think I got Jack Hermanson at in that matchup. I want to bet that was, man. I'm not that high on Drew Pyfer, man. I could see that he was beating guys that weren't on the level of guys like Jack Hermanson, and, in that Abdul Razak Al Hassan fight, I could see his leg getting absolutely chewed up in that fight. I could see that, and no one noticed it. I swear I was like the only guy on planet Earth that noticed that Abdul Razak Al Hassan was, chewing up Drew Pyfer's leg, and I said, if Jack Hermanson can do the same thing, and he has better footwork than a guy in Al Hassan, he can dance around the outside, choose his kicks from range, and I think that, I thought that, Jack Hermanson was going to win that fight by doing that, and that's exactly what he did. But a guy like Marc-Andre Barriault, I don't think that he can do that, man. I think that Marc-Andre Barriault is going to be I think it's going to be a big disadvantage in this fight, man. I think that Drew Pyfer is going to be able to put on the pressure. I think he is going to be able to put the combinations together. And Marc-Andre Barriault is very open to the body. And I think that Drew Pyfer can rip there to the body with his, good boxing, good power on the feet. And, hurt Marc-Andre Barriault. He is pretty durable, but he can be hurt. He can be, put away. And I think that Drew Pyfer early on in this matchup, it's a good matchup for him. If this fight extends, it will be a bit of a struggle for Drew Pyfer, in my opinion. But I think he's going to be I think he would have won the first 2 rounds already. And I think that at minus 225, he is a good parlay piece for this weekend. So, going to go with Drew Pyfer by second. We're going to go first or second round. I don't know. I'm trying to think how this fight plays out. I think that Drew Pyfer gets on the gas early. I think that he does put combinations together. I think that he goes to the body well. I think he, mixes it up to the head well. So I'm actually going to go with first round TKO in this matchup, man. I'm not really that high on Marc-Andre Barriault's defensive capabilities coming into this matchup. So going to go with Drew Pyfer by first round TKO in this matchup. And our next fight is going to be Ian Machado Garry taking on Michael Venom Page. Ian Garry does not represent Ireland. No, I'm Irish, bro. We do not support Ian Garry, I promise. Everyone, I'm just getting out there. But, yeah, Ian Garry, man, this guy's obviously it. We know what this guy's going to do. Very good striking on the outside. Sniper-like capabilities on the outside. Good low kicks, very good range control, very good counters, good, very good step back right hands, as we've seen against guys like, Jordan Williams when he knocked him out there. And I actually think he's very underrated in the clinch, man. He's a judo black belt, and I think that can be a big factor coming into this matchup, man. In a striking battle against Michael Venom Page, it could be a difficult fight for Ian Garry, but even in a striking battle, I think that I think he's the more technical guy, man. I think he's the more technical guy. I think he has the better strikes to win fights, to win minutes with the low leg kicks. I think the low leg kicks will be there for him. I think that he knows how to use them. I think he knows how to set them up, especially against, a guy that's very karate based in Michael Venom Page. And I think against defense, man, Ian Machado Garry can have a lot of success there. Like I said, black belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in judo, and against defense, I think he can, get him in like a tie clinch against defense, work some knees, just dirty box him in the clinch from there, and I think he can just win minutes by doing that. But I'm not gonna pick him to dirty box him against defense here. I think on the outside, man, I think he has the better attacks. I think he has the less telegraphed attacks. Obviously, Michael Venom Page covers distance extremely well. But I think a guy in Ian Machado Garry who's very, sniper-like, cuts angles very well, step backs very well off to an angle, is able to snipe people coming in with that right hand. I think it's a good matchup for Ian Garry to showcase very slick striking, a good overall MMA game in this matchup. So gonna go with Ian Garry in this matchup. And our next one is gonna be Mayra Bueno Silva taking on Macy Chiasson. Why is this on the main card? Why do we have this on the main card? Like, let's be honest here, man. But yeah, Mayra Bueno Silva, man, I always said this girl was a fraud. I always said it, man. I bet Raquel Pennington, I bet her live. I made an absolute rack on Raquel Pennington live. I was just like, deposit, live bet. It was like, it was crazy. Raquel Pennington was like plus 225, like round 3, round 4. It was crazy, but yeah, Mayra Bueno Silva, man, she's very dangerous early on. She is very, very good on the ground, man. Very good slick chokes with, ninja, modified guillotine chokes. Very good jiu-jitsu. But I don't think, if she isn't able to get the sub here in the first round, man, I think that Macy Chiasson will be able to just piece up Mayra Bueno Silva, man. Mayra Bueno Silva is very slow, very sluggish on the feet, gasses pretty hard, and I think that Macy Chiasson, with her range, she's going to be very big compared to Mayra Bueno Silva coming into this fight, man. What's the range control? It's women's MMA, so they don't really use range that well, but 5.5 inches of reach coming to this fight, man. That's a big, reach. She's going to be 5'11" compared to the 5'6" off Mayra Bueno Silva, and I don't think Mayra Bueno Silva has good wrestling either. So if Macy Chiasson can, weather the early storm in the first round, I think that it could be a good live betting spot if you're looking to play this fight. I actually do have a bet. I don't really like discussing bets that I've placed already, but I do already have a bet on Macy Chiasson this weekend. I bet Macy Chiasson pretty big in her last fight at minus 170 against Pani Kianzad. Easy money right there. And then I bet Raquel Pennington, Mayra Bueno Silva is like a helicopter, like flying over my I'm flying over my house right now. What the hell was that? But yeah, gonna go with Macy Chiasson by decision, maybe third round TKO. You could play that as well. So gonna go with gonna go with Macy Chiasson. Just use her range, use her kickboxing in this matchup, stuff the takedowns. Get out of the bad situations early on. And from what I've seen on her Instagram, man, she seems to, be in the best shape of her life, doing things right. So, and I can't say that for Mayra Bueno Silva, in my opinion, from what I've seen from her last fight. And yeah, gonna go with Macy Chiasson by decision in this matchup. And our next fight tonight is gonna be Anthony Smith taking on Roman Dolidze in the feature fight off this card, man. Looking forward to this fight, man. Anthony Smith plus 125. What are we doing here, bro? It's Roman Dolidze. This guy absolutely sucks. But yeah, let me break this fight down. Anthony Smith, man, in his last fight, I didn't actually bet Vitor Petrina. I thought that was a bit of a risk, parlaying Vitor Petrina. I wasn't really high on his skill set, to be honest. Pretty well rounded Vitor Petrina. Actually was showing good wrestling when he came into the UFC, which we'd never seen before in his regional fights. But yeah, I wasn't really that high on Vitor Petrina. I didn't parlay Vitor Petrina. I didn't bet Anthony Smith. I bet Anthony Smith against Ryan Spann. That was the last bet I ever had on Anthony Smith 9 months ago. I actually had a live bet plus 300. I had 3 units on Anthony Smith plus 300 going into round 3 and that cash. But yeah, Anthony Smith, man, pretty good low leg kicks, and that's going to be the factor coming into this matchup. Good striker, okay, Muay Thai. He has, adopted that Muay Thai stance to deal with those low leg kicks that he has, struggled with over the past few fights. But yeah, I think the low leg kicks, man, in this fight, man, can be a big factor, and I think the range that Anthony Smith can control here is gonna. I also think that's gonna be a factor in this fight. I don't think that Roman Dolidze covers ground well. I don't think he enters in range well, and he's gonna be at a big size disadvantage coming into this fight, man. And I don't think that he can get Anthony Smith to the ground. And if he does, man, I don't think he can just absolutely destroy Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith is a very good black belt. I'm pretty sure he's black or brown belt. I know that for a fact, but Very good jiu-jitsu. Obviously, Roman Dolidze is a very, very high level, jiu-jitsu guy. We've seen that against guys like Phil Hawes. Yes, Phil Hawes isn't that good. His chin's terrible, but to do that against a guy with the wrestling capabilities of, Phil Hawes and Jack Hermanson, that's a very, impressive. That's impressive stuff. But on the feet, man, this guy's so open. Very, very, very laboured with his strikes. Very, very terrible. Yeah, terrible as well, but telegraphed with his strikes. And I think that Anthony Smith is going to be the slicker striker. I think he's going to be the more powerful striker. I think he can control the range better. I think the low kicks are going to be the biggest factor in this matchup. And I do think that Anthony Smith finds a TKO in this matchup, man. I think that Roman Dolidze at 205 against Anthony Smith, he has those low leg kicks, those chopping low leg kicks that we've seen from him time and time again. I think that Anthony Smith can easily win this fight, man. So, plus 125, give me Anthony Smith all day in this matchup. And our next fight is Diego Lopes taking on Brian Ortega in the co-main event. I'm just going to get straight to the point. I'm not high on Diego Lopes. I said it. I'm not high on Diego Lopes. I don't think his skill set's very good. He is very dangerous. But let me go over a few fights. I'm not high on Diego Lopes for a few reasons, and I'll get to the point. Diego Lopes, in his UFC debut against Masvidal, he came in on short notice. People will say, oh yeah, but short notice, he had like no training. He absolutely did have training. He had a fight scheduled for a week before, a week after, I can't remember. So he was clearly in shape. He was ready to fight. But the argument is, he wasn't ready to fight a wrestler. I hate that, because if you go and watch Anderson Brito's fight against Diego Lopes, he absolutely just controlled him on the ground, got away from all those jiu-jitsu submission attempts from Diego Lopes on bottom, and just controlled him throughout the fight, and was able to win that fight. I was put in tricky positions, but I think that his take on defense is garbage. I think that his striking overall, yes, he's very dangerous. I think there's a lot of holes in his striking. I think that his boxing isn't very good. I think he's more wild than technical, and I think that I'm just not that high. I don't think he's world class, man. I bet Gavin Tucker. That was a bad bet, I'll be honest. Yes, Gavin Tucker coming off like a 2-year layoff after getting brutally KO'd, like 36 years of age, against a very dangerous, high confidence guy in Diego Lopes. Bad bet. I picked Sabatini. I call him Sabatini for a reason, and yeah, don't have to really explain why I call him Sabatini, but I picked Sabatini, but I didn't bet Sabatini, and the reason was because he doesn't have a chin. And then I picked Diego Lopes against Sadiq Youssef, because I finally understood, okay, I don't think this guy is good, but I think that he's very dangerous, and I think he can knock out guys that have chin problems in Sadiq Youssef, in, Sabatini, and I coming into this fight, man, I don't know who to pick. This is such a hard fight for me to pick, man, because I'm hearing Brian Ortega say, oh yeah, I'm moving up to lightweight anyway, so it is what it is. So I don't know if this guy's taking this fight seriously. I can't tell. He said he's going to move up to lightweight, even it doesn't matter the outcome of this fight, so it's like, how can I pick this guy? I'm still gonna pick Brian Ortega in this fight. I think he has the better boxing. I think he has the durability to, survive a guy like Diego Lopes. If Brian Ortega gets finished in the first round, I'll be like, yo, it's fair enough. I mean, guys that were way better than Diego Lopes couldn't do that. Max Holloway, yes, Max Holloway's not a power puncher. Alexander Volkanovski couldn't do it. Yair Rodriguez, I mean, it was a injury obviously, but better guys couldn't do it. So I know MMA math, it sounds like such a stupid breakdown, I know, but yeah, I'm just not high on this guy, Diego Lopes, man. This guy's very dangerous, like I said. He comes forward wild, very good in the clinch, uppercut, right hands in the clinch, and that's how, he beat guys in Sabatini and Sadiq Youssef. But in a guy like Brian Ortega, who's very durable, good boxing, it's not a superb boxing, but I think it's more technical than Diego Lopes. I think that we can all agree there, and I think that if he can survive that first round, man, I think in the second and third round, he can put this guy down on his ass, control him, transition to positions, potentially, ground and pound, maybe keep on the feet, maybe just box him, pick his shots on the feet, and, just out cardio, out durability, Diego Lopes in this fight. And that's how I'm going to pick and analyze this fight. I think that Diego Lopes, I'm just not high on his skill set, man. He will have a lot of confidence coming into this fight, of course, but I'm going to go with Brian Ortega, the more seasoned, the the guy that's proven at this level, the guy that has the durability, in my opinion, to survive a guy like Diego Lopes early on. So I think it's a first round or bust for Diego Lopes in this fight, and I'm going to go with Brian Ortega to survive that first round and implement some good boxing and potentially look for some takedowns. You know, Brian Ortega doesn't have good takedowns, but like I said, Diego Lopes has the takedown defense of I don't know, someone that's been scared by a ghost. It's just terrible. So yeah, if you can implement some wrestling, I think that would be a massive benefit to Brian Ortega in this matchup. But not going to rely on him to do that. I think that if he can survive that first round, he will win this fight. So give me Brian Ortega by give me him by decision. I think that Diego Lopes is tough enough to survive to a decision. And on to the main event of the evening. Everyone's been waiting for this, man. I know that my haters, bro, have been, wanting to see this video to see if I'm picking Jiri Prochazka. And yeah, I'm picking Jiri Prochazka. You know, I'm max bet. Okay, listen. Listen right here, man. So this is how it went. I max bet, for you guys that are new to the channel, I max bet Jamahal Hill. I said he was the better striker. I said he was the better striker. I said he's going to absolutely destroy Alex Pereira. I can't even. I'm 9-1 on max bets. Don't hate me. That's a good record on max bets. I'm 9 wins, 1 loss on max bets, max plays. I said that Hill would, destroy basically Alex Pereira. But yeah, that didn't happen. Alex Pereira completely proved me wrong, destroyed Jamahal Hill, and yeah, it was just a terrible read in the end. It is what it is. We all make shit. We all make shit predictions. Don't hate me. It is what it is. Got enough for it already. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jiri Prochazka, man. I'm going to go with Jiri Prochazka against Alex Pereira. Am I Alex Pereira's #1 hitter? No, I'm not. But I'm just like, I just pick against this guy a lot. I'll give you kind of my history over betting and picking Alex Pereira. So let me go back to the Sean Strickland fight. I actually picked Alex Pereira to beat Sean Strickland because I knew that Sean Strickland would stand in front of him like an idiot, walk forward and get clipped. Knew that would happen. I actually picked Alex Pereira in his first fight against Israel Adesanya. And then this is one of the only times I've ever had a feeling. I actually had this feeling with Dustin Poirier. I don't bet in feelings, I don't bet in emotions, I don't do any of that, or make predictions on that. But I had a feeling that Israel Adesanya was going to actually beat Alex Pereira in the second fight, and I actually picked Israel Adesanya. I bet Israel Adesanya, and look how that played out. And then I bet Jan Blachowicz to beat Alex Pereira. That was a very close fight. And then the funny thing is, I bet and picked Alex Pereira to beat Jiri Prochazka the first time. And now I'm picking Jiri Prochazka to beat Alex Pereira the second time. So, is it a very big gamble? Yes, it is. But going back and watching that first fight, man, I'm seeing Jiri Prochazka eat those leg kicks. I'm seeing him march him down. I'm seeing him having a lot of success in that second round, hurting Alex Pereira until he gets clipped and finished. Yes, that's, but he still ended up getting clipped and finished. But let me if we're talking like an extra 2 or 3 minutes, man, I think that Jiri Prochazka would finish Pereira in that matchup, and I really do believe that Jiri Prochazka's pressure, his awkward style, it's a bad matchup for Alex Pereira. I mean, maybe Alex Pereira could win this fight. I'm not saying it's like, it's an absolute horrible matchup, like he's gonna wrestle him here. But on the feet, man, if you had to say anyone as a bad matchup for Alex Pereira, on the feet from light heavyweight to middleweight, I mean, it's going to be like a guy like Jiri Prochazka, who's very wild, very unorthodox. He's very durable, doesn't give a shit what's coming at him. So I think that Jiri Prochazka, man's going to march him down. I think he's going to march him down. I think that he could actually look to wrestle even more than he did in that first fight. Did he wrestle in that first fight? I think he did early on, didn't he? So I think that Jiri Prochazka, man, as this fight goes on, his relentlessness, his forward pressure, I think that it's going to get to Alex Pereira. And I think that he will finish Alex Pereira in the second or third round by KO. So I'm going to go with Jiri Prochazka in this matchup. I'm not a hater on Alex Pereira. I swear I'm not. Even though I picked against him a lot. I have picked him a lot. So like I said, I picked him against Jiri Prochazka the first time, so I'm far from an Alex Barry hater. So give me Jiri Prochazka by third round TKO. I think that Alex Pereira on the back foot is a different fighter compared to when he's on the front foot, putting it on you, and I think that Jiri Prochazka is going to try and come forward a lot more in this matchup, like he did in that second round, and try and put it on Alex Pereira. But yeah, there you guys have it. That was my breakdown, predictions, and some of my bets that I've already placed. I haven't really given some of my bets, all of my bets that I placed, but if you guys are new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment some of your best bets, predictions, or if you agreed or disagreed with some of my bets. I know that a lot of people like to disagree and say, "Oh, I knew that was going to happen," even though it's just cringe when people do that. But yeah, if you guys are new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, boys. Peace.